Why stay earthbound when prosperity awaits you in the stars? Come to Halcyon, the only colony on the edge of the frontier, owned and operated by corporations. A trip of 10 short years will feel like mere minutes, thanks to the comfort and safety of your very own hibernation chamber. You'll wake up in a perfect society designed to maximize your productivity, with guaranteed full employment. With only a minor term of service, you will become the master of your own destiny when you go out of this world to the Halcyon colony.
Hundreds of thousands of colonists left adrift out here forever, just to keep from damaging the board's bottom line. Disgraceful.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my first video on the Outer Worlds. In the coming weeks we'll be exploring every inch of the Halcyon colony, digging up the lore through our interactions with the colony's inhabitants and the environments they live in. After a brief cinematic introduction, the game asks us to choose our attributes, of which we have 6 to modify: strength, dexterity, intelligence, perception, charm, and temperament. So I decided to use 1 to boost intelligence up to good, 2 to boost charm up to high, another 2 to boost strength up to high, and the final point to boost intelligence up 1 more, also to high. We then move on to our skills, where we have 2 points to allocate to the following: melee, ranged, defense, dialogue, stealth, tech, and leadership. Now, from what I've read online, this game seems to be heavily focused on dialogue and combat. Therefore, I chose to boost my ranged skill, which improves weapon sway and critical hit chance with ranged weapons, and my dialogue skill, which improves my ability to speak with NPCs. Next is aptitude, which from what I gathered is where we select what profession we had back on Earth. I decided to make my character a handyman, construction, electrician class wire spooler to be exact. Selecting this gives us a slight bonus to shock resistance, something that I'm assuming will come in handy at certain points throughout the game. Then we move on to appearance customization. I did my best to make my character look like me, but I didn't quite get it right. I've always had a tough time recreating facial features in video games, but I still feel as though the end result was one dashingly good-looking man, with a scruffy beard of course. Then we just plug in our name, Veal Chops, do a quick overview of our selections, and then jump right back into the cinematic.
Looks to be your lucky day, my friend. Not likely, bootlickers. Initiate skip jump.
Status: structural integrity down 25%. Power levels down.
Shit. Ah, there you are. Wondering what's going on, eh? A bit of bad news there, I'm afraid.
Your colony ship was inexplicably knocked out of skip space and forced to complete its journey at sublight speeds. This means that you and every other colonist on the Hope have been in suspended animation for 70 years, give or take. Normally, reviving someone after so long leads to some quite horrifying results. It's called explosive cell death, but it's really more of a liquefaction. Something wrong? Oh, yes, well, not to worry. I've pumped your body full of a special concoction I devised to keep you from dying so horrifically. Hopefully at all, but I guess we'll see, yes? Unfortunately, I used the last of my chemical supplies saving you. I know it's a lot to ask, but I must have your help securing more if we're to save the rest of your fellow colonists. I'd see it done myself, of course, but the board has a sizable bounty on my head. Now, my ship is inoperative, but I've managed to hire a smuggler to help you out. He'll be... Oh, I see we're in position. Good luck!
Can you hear me? Is this thing working? Ah, there you are. Now, where were we? Oh, yes, the smuggler. His name is Hawthorne, and he should be waiting for you at the landing site. He's to be your chauffeur, so to speak. Not to worry. I'm told he's a specialist. Dashing gunslinger, one-of-a-kind ship, that sort of thing. You'll like him, I'm sure. I've also outfitted you with a simple wireless monitor, so I can track your progress. I'll check in with you as soon as you land. Good luck. All the colonists are counting on you.
With that, we enter the planet's atmosphere and crash land on the surface moments later. Our escape pod is destroyed, but at least we survived. Our luck quickly runs out though as we open the hatch.
You've landed good. Hawthorne should be close by. What in law's name? Is that him? Oh, that idiot. I told him to plant the beacon and move away, not stand there holding it. Oh well, no sense in letting his ship go to waste. Hawthorne won't mind you taking his ship. Better you than the board, huh? Not sure I trusted the fellow. Might have gone after the bounty on my head. Shame about the whole squashing thing. Nasty way to go.
Well, it appears that Hawthorne wasn't as smart as Phineas Wells claimed he was. However, Hawthorne's ship is somewhere nearby. Maybe if we can reach it, we can get off this planet. Though to be fair, the planet is quite stunning, filled with vibrant wildlife, a turquoise sky, and a crystal ocean hugging the shoreline. Continuing along the path, we notice some kind of small alien creature scurrying about like a rat. It looks harmless enough, so there's no need to worry. The trail cuts through a few rock structures and leads to a small camp, which consists of nothing more than a pot hanging over a fire and a tarp stretched out a few feet in the air. Below this tarp is a rather gruesome scene, a dead marauder sitting in a pool of blood, both legs ripped clean off. On his body we can loot some adreno, an item that can be used for healing. Then we hear it. The sound of teeth sinking into flesh, coupled with soft grunts and growls. Creeping around the corner and using the tall grass as cover, we spot two creatures called canids up on a ledge. They appear to be eating something, but it's not clear what it is. Given the fact that we don't have any way to defend ourselves, it's probably best that we stay hidden and continue onward. After hopping down a ledge and entering a rock tunnel, something strange happens.
Easy now. You've been frozen for a while. There's bound to be unforeseen side effects.
That seemed like more than a side effect, Phineas. It almost seemed as if time slowed down for a moment. But how is that possible? A bit further down in the tunnel, we come to another ledge, this one much higher than the last. The only way to continue onward is to jump, so tally-ho!
Ah!
We take some damage from the fall, and on the right side of the screen, we see a message. Use the emergency medicinal inhaler to heal. Each activation consumes 1 adreno. So since we looted that adreno off the dead marauder, we can now use this inhaler device to heal ourselves. Ah, that's better. There's a cavern just up ahead, and sitting on a small storage bin to the north, we find Guard Pelham.
Hey, you, come here. You've tried the best now. Now try the rest. Spacer's choice. Oh, law, that stings.
Spacer's what?
Oh, we're all part of the Spacer's Choice family here. Not that I deserve to be. Can't even deliver a company slogan. We were out on patrol. I saw a marauder camp up in the hills. Thought I could take him. Then my gun misfired. Right through my side. I mean, what are the odds of that, right? Just barely scraped by with my life. Crawled in here and blocked off the exit with those canisters.
What in the world? Here's a guy sitting here wounded from his own gun, and the first thing he says to us is a slogan from some company called Spacer's Choice? What about, oh, I don't know, help me stop the bleeding, or go kill those marauders before they get me? How strange. What's this you say about marauders, Guard Pelham?
Gibbering, flesh-eating, law-breaking, unemployed lunatics with guns. Some hullhead grounded their spacecraft out in the open. That's a real good way to attract marauders. See those canisters by the entrance? Marauders come sniffing around in here, and I can take them all out with a single shot. Not bad, huh?
Yeah, until you accidentally blow your guts out. I have a better idea. How about you give me your gun, and I'll go get some help.
Yeah, okay. You look like you know your way around a gun. Got some spare ammo, not counting the bullet in my side. All Spacer's Choice weapons are now 30% less likely to malfunction. You've tried the best, now try the rest. Spacer's Choice. Yes, nailed it that time.
Okay then, Crazy. Would you mind telling me where I am?
You hit your head or something? You're in Emerald Vale. We're a Spacer's Choice community. Edgewater's a little ways down. Prettiest place in the Vale. Be sure to stop by a provisioner's for a can of our famous salt tuna.
And this is a long shot, but do you know anything about the Hope?
The Hope? Is that some sort of fancy new drug? Are you with Auntie Cleo or something? Don't take this the wrong way or nothing, but I'm not allowed to fraternize with Cleo workers. Company policy.
Company policy dictates who you can and can't associate with? What the hell is this company anyway? Alright, Pelham, I'm off. Next to Pelham, we can loot a mag pick, which is used for unlocking doors and containers, and a can of gourmet salt tuna fillets. Now that we have a gun, we can shoot the canisters that Pelham set up, and open up the path forward.
Damage my ears! Oh, what had just happened? Can you hear me? What in the... This...
Looks like our communication feed with Phineas is starting to lose its signal. Anyway, with our gun at the ready, we can keep moving to the east and exit the tunnel, where we find 2 marauders strolling around another camp. Seems like a perfect time to try out our time dilation ability. We can loot one of the marauders for 7-bit cartridges, which are used as the game's currency, some light ammo, and a light pistol. Also in this camp, we find some pre-sliced bread, fast ration pills, and some fish sticks. On top of a nearby table, we can also loot 2 more mag picks, a mock apple, whatever that is, and a bunch of nanners. Delicious. There's a bin here too, but I didn't have enough mag picks to unlock it. Continuing onward along the trail, we quickly encounter more marauders. I decided to try to sneak up on them this time and take them out stealthily, but that didn't end up working out so well.
What's that? Stay away!
On one of the Marauder's body, we can loot some level 4 Marauder armor, which grants a +5 bonus to stealth. I personally like the style of my original suit more, but armor is everything out in the wilds, so I decided to put on the Marauder armor. Rounding the corner up ahead, we spot Hawthorne's ship in the center of a large clearing. It's a fine-looking ship, and better still, it looks to be completely intact. As we start to head down into the clearing, someone suddenly calls out to us.
Hey! Get over here before you get yourself killed!
This is Lieutenant Mercer.
Don't know where you came from, stranger, but you best keep your head down. There's marauders hereabouts, and worse, landing violators. Gall on that rung leech! Landing in the Vale without using an official Spacer's Choice landing pad. I'd slap him with a fine if it weren't for all these marauders shambling about.
So I heard. I found one of your teammates holed up in a cave.
Really? How is he?
Well, he's bleeding and delirious, but he's still kicking.
Well, that's a relief. You don't want to know how much paperwork's involved in paying off a gravesite fee. We'll see him back to Edgewater, just as soon as I cross these marauders off with the swift, cost-efficient fury that's made Spacer's Choice the most trusted brand in personal defense. I just, need a couple of winks to catch my breath. Stretch my legs some.
What do you need to rest for, Lieutenant? Are you really going to make me give you a 0 on my customer satisfaction survey?
Seriously? But those marauders will... Ugh. You know what? You're right. It's time we cross those marauders off, find whoever owns that ship, and file a full report. And it's gonna be fucking laminated.
With that, Private Kimball and Lieutenant Mercer rush into battle, guns blazing.
Waste the company ammo!
Once the Marauders are dead, we can head inside Hawthorne's ship. Suddenly, a voice from nowhere, called Ada, starts talking to us.
Please be informed that this vessel contains no valuable plunder.
Well, I'll be the judge of that, Ada. Our objective marker is leading us into some kind of control room to the west, but first we can head through a door to the east to have a look around.
Intruders are not authorized to access the Unreliable's amenities, including the cargo hold's workbench.
On the left side of the room is this workbench that Ada was referring to, with a sawed-off shotgun resting on a storage bin next to it. Before moving forward, we can quickly check out this workbench, which allows us to either repair, upgrade, or modify our weapons and armor. I didn't have any crafting parts on me at the time, so the workbench was pretty useless. There's a ladder up ahead that we can use to climb up to a second floor. Here we find a second ladder leading up to a third floor, and to the south, a vocational competence respecification machine. Boy, that's a mouthful. This can be used to reallocate our spent skill and perk points for a fee. Good to know. A doorway to the north leads into the engine room.
Marauder, please be informed that the engine room contains nothing of value.
Sadly, Ada is right. There doesn't appear to be anything of interest in this room. Heading up that second ladder to the third floor, we can turn right into some kind of lounge area. There's a couch, a few bottles of what I can only assume was some kind of alcoholic beverage, a shelf containing some plates and pans, and a couple of refrigerators, one of which contains some more gourmet salt tuna fillets. On one of the tables in this room, we find some algae lager, which I can't say sounds too appetizing. On the table in the center is some kind of game, but nothing in the way of loot. So continuing further down the hall, we can take some stairs all the way down to the first floor. We come out right near the entrance to the ship, meaning we've just done a big loop. Turning left and heading inside that control room, we finally meet the voice from nowhere that calls itself Ada.
Hello, Marauder. I am Ada, the autonomous digital astrogator of this vessel. Please be informed that I am authorized to use violent retribution against unwanted solicitors. Please return any misappropriated equipment and exit this vessel in an orderly fashion. Failure to do so will result in your immediate destruction.
Immediate destruction, huh? What are you gonna do, self-destruct?
Jettison procedures initiated. Disengaging airlocks. Preparing to eject all boarded parties in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Is something supposed to be happening?
You are still here. My deception protocols have failed. I have been programmed to express disappointment.
Is this Hawthorne's ship?
This vessel is the registered property of Captain Alex Hawthorne. I am incapable of accepting orders from anyone other than Captain Alex Hawthorne.
Alright, well then maybe you can help me out. Hawthorne was supposed to meet me when I landed.
I deduce from the tone of your voice that Captain Hawthorne failed to meet you at the designated location.
Oh, he met my escape pod alright. Head first.
I understand. I will require some time to process this information. Thank you for your patience and for your honesty. I am programmed to take orders exclusively from Captain Hawthorne. If I accept your orders, then you must be Captain Hawthorne. Do you understand?
I love it! Ada can only take orders from Captain Hawthorne, but she doesn't have the ability to identify who's the real Hawthorne and who isn't. Anyone can just say, I am Captain Hawthorne, and that's good enough for her.
Well done, Captain Hawthorne. I see your powers of deductive reasoning remain intact. Unfortunately, our engine is currently inoperable. Our main drive suffered a critical power failure, and we were forced to make an emergency landing. The main drive's power regulator has been irreparably damaged and must be replaced.
A power regulator. Where am I supposed to find something like that?
The settlement of Edgewater is located nearby. I recommend speaking to the administrator of Edgewater and requesting assistance. I have taken the liberty of printing you a new captain's identity cartridge. Please try not to lose it this time. This cartridge identifies you, Alex Hawthorne, as the registered proprietor and captain of the Unreliable. Do you understand?
Yes, I get it. I am Captain Alex Hawthorne of the Unreliable. Has a nice ring to it.
Thank you. I appreciate your cooperation. Best of luck in your search for a power regulator. Try to stay alive this time.
With that, we can exit the Unreliable and again speak to Lieutenant Mercer.
Say, this wouldn't happen to be your ship, would it? Because you sure walked in it like it was your ship. And if this ship is yours, well, mister, you owe Spacer's Choice a hefty fine. Afraid we gotta dock your pay.
We have a few different dialogue options here. We can either tell Lieutenant Mercer that we don't have a job, pass a speech check to lie and say, you've got it all wrong, I'm a Starship Safety Inspector, or we can take a more violent approach. Seeing that I'm trying to remain rational throughout my playthrough and avoid violence whenever possible, I decided to lie and say, you've got it all wrong, Lieutenant. I'm a Starship Safety Inspector.
Oh, by the law. I'm so sorry. I had no idea we had an inspector coming. If you'd like to speak with my manager, I report to Constable Reyes in Edgewater. Edgewater's not too far. Just follow the road east of here, over past the cemetery. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to inspect the crime scene before I make my report.
We are now free to explore Emerald Vale and continue with the game as we see fit. Not far from here is the town of Edgewater, which is where Ada suggested we go if we want to find a new power regulator for the Unreliable. We'll take our first steps into Edgewater and see if we can get the Unreliable flying again in our next episode. I'm gonna come straight out and say it. The Outer Worlds has me hooked. The characters seem compelling and interesting. The scenery is absolutely stunning. The alien creatures and marauders provoke a sense of danger and adventure around every corner. Already, I've got a ton of questions. Why does everyone feel the need to plug the Spacer's Choice Company every chance they get? What is the town of Edgewater like? How far will the game push us just to get our hands on a power regulator? With any luck, we'll find out the answers in our next video. I post new videos on the Outer Worlds every Wednesday and Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, so be sure to subscribe to my channel and click the bell notification button so that you can stay up to date on all of my latest content. If you like what I do, I'd also appreciate it if you let me know in the comments section below, and leave a like if you feel so inclined. I'll be back in just a few days with a brand new video, but that's all I've got for now, folks. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.